Thanks, Robert. For those of you that don't know Robert, he's probably one of the hardest working people that I've ever met. So thank you very much for all you do, Robert. Yeah. So if you don't know me, I am Trustee Daren Wunderle. I see a lot of familiar faces out there. It's nice to be here. Thank you for coming. I know that some of you travel from a long distance. They usually don't let me speak in front of a lot of people. So when Christian Palmer, who is our communications director, Christian is over there. Can you say hi, Christian? He is also a very hard-working individual at PSPRS. He deserves your applause as well, too. So he put this on today. And Jane, his team. Jane, thank you so much. So when they reached out to have me do this, normally Trustee Brian Moore will do this session, and unfortunately he couldn't be here today. He said to say hello to everybody. But Christian asked me to make this sexy, and I'm not sure exactly what that meant. So we'll do the best that we can. But so I thought it'd be fun to just a simple icebreaker with respect to artificial intelligence. I reached out to ChatGPT, and I asked ChatGPT to just come up with an icebreaker for me for this session, just a funny joke. And this is what ChatGPT said. Why did the pension conference turn into a dance party? Anybody heard this before? Okay, all right. Because they wanted to show that retirement savings can have a great fund balance. Okay, all right. So I basically said, hey, come back with a funnier joke, okay? So here's the second one. So why did the retiree bring a ladder to the pension conference? Anybody? To ensure they had a step-by-step plan for a great exit strategy. Okay, so I'm not impressed by ChatGPT or artificial intelligence, and I don't know that artificial intelligence is going to take over the world like everybody thinks. So, but oh my gosh! So I think Suri just shocked me through my phone, and she is typing something now. She says, "Don't mess with me, Daren. Rome wasn't built in a day. And I dare you to put your phone in your pocket." So I'm not sure what that means. So anyway, all right, let's get going. I'm going to try and make this relatively quick because I recognize I'm keeping you from lunch. So again, I'm Trustee Daren Wunderle. It's nice to be here, and I'm going to talk to you about PSPRS Defined Contribution Committee and the update. So let's see here, find the clicker. There we go. All right, so just a little bit about me. I've been with the Phoenix Police Department now for about 24 years. I'm currently a sergeant. I've been with the Board of Trustees. I was appointed back in 2021. I've been a member of the PSPRS DC Committee since its inception back in 2016. I served as an elected official on the City of Phoenix's local police pension board back in 2019 and 2020. I am currently a member of the City of Phoenix Healthcare Task Force and have served on the City Manager's Special Projects Lean Six Sigma team. I'm currently on the executive board of the Phoenix Police Supervisors Union, and I'm currently assigned with the Employee Wellness Bureau, and I do financial wellness for police officers in the city of Phoenix. Okay, some key takeaways today. Actually, today's update will cover key takeaways, who is on the DC committee, the history of the DC committee and the plans. We'll talk about membership, assets, the investment options that the members have, the DC plan forfeitures, which you've already heard about a little bit from Scott today, and then education. So some key takeaways. The plans are a big deal. They're remarkable in that they're growing rapidly. The assets are over about $815 million, and we opened these plans up, and the committee started back in 2017. So with respect to oversight on these plans, we have several layers of oversight. So you've got the Defined Contribution Committee itself. You've got consultants like Nationwide, who's our record keeper. You also have SageView, who is our strategic consultant as well. And then you've got the Board of Trustees. So a lot of oversight. Currently, we have about 18,700 members in the plans. It's grown rapidly. And again, the plan assets are over $815 million. That just shocks me how fast it's growing. We have very low fees. We're at 6 basis points right now. And once the total plan assets get to $1 billion, that'll drop to 5 basis points. The investment options for the members are the institutional share classes. So we're looking for the highest value, lowest cost. And then members are able to leave the money in the plans upon retirement or enroll in the plans as well if they're not already in them. Okay. Forfeiture funds are there to assist both members, and they're also there to offset employer contributions. We'll touch on that in a little bit. Okay. So with respect to the defined contribution committee makeup, we've got 2 representing law enforcement, 2 representing firefighters, 1 representing corrections, 1 representing elected officials, and we also have a staff member as well who's non-voting. So without further ado, let's meet the committee. So Trustee Brian Moore is the chair of the DC committee. Unfortunately, again, he could not be here. He represents firefighters. Christian gave me a little bit about some hobbies that Brian has, wanted me to share that since he cannot be here, but he'd indicated that Brian likes warm bubble baths and reading romance novels, and he likes 50 Shades. Christian, I don't think I can read this, actually, so I'm going to... No, Brian is a very close friend of mine. He has been doing this for a very long time, and if you don't know him, hopefully he can attend the next annual event and you can meet him, but he's outstanding, so I lean on him heavily. So you know me, I represent law enforcement on the committee. Arlene Chin is a new member. She represents elected officials. Arlene, are you here today? Has anybody seen Arlene today? No? Okay. All right. Don Youngward is also on the committee representing firefighters. Is Don here today? Nope? Okay. Jason Hathcock is representing corrections. I think Jason is here today. Jason, can you stand wherever you are? Thank you, Jason. We're happy to have you on the committee. The committee works extremely hard. We do a lot of RFP processes, and it requires a lot of time and effort. So, Jason, you'll be working hard over the next couple years, so thank you for that. Joe Kluwer, is Joe here today? Nope? Okay. Joe Kluwer represents law enforcement. And then we also have Mark Steed, who is the PSPRS Chief Investment Officer, is on there as well. Again, non-voting member. So they are a very hard-working crew. So thank you for everybody that's serving on this committee. Okay. So what is the PSPRS Defined Contribution Committee, and what are the plans? Well, for some historical context, in 2016, pension reform directed PSPRS and stakeholders to create a defined contribution plan for public safety members, okay, and to be implemented by July 1st, 2017. The DC committee was created to design, implement, oversee, and make recommendations to the Board of Trustees regarding plan management. During implementation and to meet best practices, the DC committee completed several RFP processes, right, for things like a strategic consultant, a record keeper, and an educational provider. So as I said before, Sage View Advisory Group is our strategic consultant. They've been outstanding. Mark Kordonsky, Jake O'Shaughnessy have been instrumental in us getting these plans and this committee off the ground, so thank you to them. Our record keeper is nationwide. So Jim Keeler and his team has just done outstanding work as well on these plans. And then our educational provider is Public Safety Financial Galloway. So they're the ones that are working around the state providing education to members. And by the way, we have very, very young members coming on. They're 20, 18 years old, and they're trying to decide, do they want the pension or not? That's a huge decision. It's irrevocable. They've only got a certain number of days to decide that. And so Public Safety Financial Galloway is helping with those decisions. To date, we've completed several RFP cycles. Okay. All right. So the DC plan went live as expected on July 1st, 2017. Today, the DC committee oversees several plans which serve public safety, police, fire, elected officials, and corrections throughout Arizona. This includes 3 separate 401A plans and 1 new 457 plan. Okay. All right. So with respect to the 401A plans, we've got the Public Safety and Corrections 401A, serves primarily police, fire, and corrections. The PSPRS Supplemental 401A is optional, and it serves several fire districts and municipalities. The Elected Officials Plan, again, was created for elected and judicial members hired on or after January 2014. As the EORP DB plan, that pension plan was closed back in December of 2013 by the legislature. Okay. The new 457 plan, that deferred comp plan, was created for members. Any member may participate in the 457 plan for personal retirement. Okay. It's helpful for small employers who lack resources to open additional tax-deferred programs or to negotiate competitive fees. Employers are compelled to allow members to participate, but not compelled to make or match contributions on a member's behalf. Employer contributions are not required, again. So this is a great plan because there's very low admin fee, and again, we have those institutional share classes. Okay. So switching gears here a little bit, the membership, as I said before, the total DC plan membership exceeds 18,700 members. That's a big deal. This, most of these, we started tracking this back in 2017 when we opened this public safety plan, but it's growing rapidly. Most of the members are in the public safety and corrections plan. It's worth noting the 457 plan saw rapid growth in membership from December of 2022 to December of 2023. Okay. With respect to member eligibility, so for public safety, Tier 3 public safety members who choose the DC only would contribute 9% and their employers would match at 9%. Tier 3 public safety members who choose the DB plan and do not contribute to Social Security receive the hybrid DB pension and DC plan. They would contribute, the members contribute 3% and employers contribute 3% as well. Tier 2 public safety hired on January 1st, 2012 to June 30th, 2017, who do not contribute to Social Security are also in this plan. Okay. So the PSP DCRP 401A is not available for Tier 1 members until or unless they exit drop, and not available for Tier 2 non-hybrid benefit members. All PSPRS members can join or use the 401A supplemental plan and the 457 plan. Okay, on corrections eligibility, Tier 3 corrections and detention officers hired on or after July 1st, 2018 who do not work for AOC in probation or in a surveillance capacity are in this plan. They contribute 7% and the employers contribute 5%. Tier 3 AOC, probation, or surveillance officers who choose DC only benefits are also in this plan, contributing 7%. Okay. So the PSDCRP is not available to Corp Tiers 1 and 2 unless they exit or elect to receive reverse drop, and that balance will be transferred to the plan if they did. So all Corp members can use the 401A supplemental plan and the 457 plan. With respect to elected officials, in December of 2013, as you've heard a couple times today, the EORP DB plan was closed by the legislature. So the EOD-CRS, the employer or the elected officials defined contribution retirement system, was created or established for all new elected and judicial members hired on or after January 2014. Members contribute 8% and employers contribute 6%. Okay. All right, again, the total DC plan assets exceeds $815 million as of December 2023. This chart shows the growth of the plans from July 2017 through December of 2023. We've experienced rapid growth in these plans. Okay. This chart shows the growth of each plan from 2021 to 2023. The largest growth was in the public safety and corrections plan, due primarily to drop transfers into the plans. All right, switching gears again to investment options. So it's worth noting that the plan's investment options have very low fees. Again, I keep driving the same points because they're so important, and have those institutional share classes. So Tier 2 and 3 members are defaulted into the American Fund Target Date funds. Tier 1 drop members are defaulted into the fixed fund, earning 2.75%. Okay. There are approximately 20 other funds which consist of both managed and index funds. There's also a self-directed brokerage window so that if members want, they can have customized portfolios. Okay. So you've heard a few times about forfeited funds today. So the forfeited funds in the Public Safety and Corrections Plan are helping both members and employers. So specifically, again, what are those forfeited funds, right? Well, employees must complete their vesting period to receive 100% of their employer match. When an employee terminates prior to completing their vesting period, they leave behind forfeited money contributed by their employer in the plan. So what's the magnitude, right? By the end of 2022, the forfeited fund balance was $3.9 million approximately. By the end of 2023, the forfeited balance was approximately $5 million. Okay? Impacting roughly 90 employers. All right, so we are bound by IRS rules. So, what do the IRS rules say about the forfeited funds? Well, they prevent PSPRS or the 401A DC plan record keeper nationwide from refunding the amounts to employers. Basically, the funds must remain in the plan. So a couple solutions we've come up with. We've instituted a fee holiday. So consistent with IRS rules and through committee recommendation and board approval, a fee holiday was implemented for the Public Safety and Corrections Plan only. So the administrative fees dropped to 0 from 6 basis points with this one plan. That's less than 1/10 of 1%. This does not impact the other DC plans. Okay. The administrative fees for the other plans are scheduled to drop to from 6 basis points to 5 basis points when the total plan assets reaches $1 billion. Okay. Reference the employer credits that you've heard about today. So consistent with IRS rules and through committee recommendation and board approval, forfeited funds will also be used as credits to offset future employer contributions. Okay, so simply put, impacted employers can use credits in lieu of payments for future employer DC plan contributions. Okay, please note the forfeited credit balances will be an ongoing issue that we all have to deal with. So PSPRS is working hard with impacted employers and happy to assist you. So Mike Smerick, if you don't know Mike Smerick, another very, very hardworking person at PSPRS, he and his team are working on trying to resolve this with employers, helping them find new processes that might work. So, okay, real quick on education. So PSPRS contracts with Public Safety Financial Galloway for educational services. The educational component is required under state law. The contract was last renewed with Public Safety Financial Galloway back in 2020 through a competitive bid process. So again, Public Safety Financial Galloway conducts free member benefit training sessions for new hires and all tier members. So members can find the schedules of these trainings on both the PSPRS education and training webpage and also on the Galloway site. And this is what they might see. So if members Google PSPRS education and training, this is what they'd see. And they can sign up for webinars on this page. If they go the other route to Galloway, Public Safety Financial Galloway's web site, this is what they'll find. And they can sign up here. Okay. So PSPRS does not endorse any asset management company to its membership. I want to say that again. PSPRS does not endorse any asset management companies to its membership. Really important. Okay. As we're starting to wind down here, I just want to highlight the importance of member education. Administrator Mike Townsend touched on this earlier today. It's extremely important. So just a quick question, right, to highlight this. How does stress impact an officer's performance at work? How does stress impact an officer's performance at work? So it's now becoming widely known that increased stress negatively impacts an officer's performance at work. A reduction in officer stress improves outcomes for the officers, or for the officer's family, and the communities they serve. Researchers are starting to look into this through formal studies. One such study was completed in 2020 by the Journal of Police and Criminal Psychology. They evaluated perceived stressors for police officers in Illinois. And basically what they did is they interviewed hundreds of police officers, and they crunched data, and they said, hey, what are your top 4 perceived stressors? And it was things like seeing something bad happen to a child, seeing something bad happen to maybe a partner, not getting along with a supervisor, and then financial issues. And what they found after all of their efforts, all of their data crunching, was that the financial issues had the greatest impact on stress on police officers across the board. So a recommendation was made, and they recommended across the country to implement formal financial literacy programs and money management workshops. Okay? The study concluded several things, but this is some highlights. The effective implementation of these initiatives yields better police officers' health and self-management mechanisms. Furthermore, police officers will be better prepared to cope with stress and will not display overly aggressive behavior when interacting with their families or the public. So the Phoenix Police Department took note on this, right? They noted the study's findings. They also noted that in the past decade, there have been a significant number of changes in the laws surrounding public safety retirement plans. It's overwhelming for officers to wrap their heads around this. They also noted that officer benefits at the city level are continually changing with labor contracts, and that navigating federal, state, and city benefits can be extremely complex, stressful, and frustrating for officers and or their families. So PPD implemented a new financial wellness program. Through this program, officers are able to request assistance. The program assists officers with benefits and financial literacy concepts aimed at reducing stress and improving overall outcomes. Discussing things like city, state, federal benefits, financial literacy concepts, legislation impacting them, retirement lifestyle considerations, COLAs, taxes, tax strategy, and it's really helping drastically with retention. So, in general, it just provides clarity on where the officer is, where the officer wants to be in 5, 10, 15, 20 years, and then basically how to get there. So in closing, I believe financial stress isn't just impacting PSPRS members, but it's impacting us all. I mean, I get that. I challenge you to continually improve your benefits education program and to consider implementing financial literacy training in your jurisdictions. And if you are so, I just recommend to continually improve on them. There are many resources here for you. There's Public Safety Financial Galloway that can help out. PSPRS can help out. You can call me if you like. I'm happy to help you identify how to start your program. So anyway, that's all I've got. Thank you for allowing me to come and present. Are there any questions for me? You're like, let's just go to lunch. So, all right. Thanks, everybody.